knowledgeable guys. My name is Devon C. Codrington, aka Interstellar on Discord and the Twitter. And as always, I'm joined by my trusty custy co-host, NFG Ryan.
What's going on?
Ryan, what's going on? I should probably tell the people what this podcast is about. This is a podcast about NFTs, cryptocurrency, the blockchain, the space itself, and everything in between. So I guess you could say it's a Web3 podcast.
I would
this
say
week, that. Yeah, would you? Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm glad you would. And maybe next week you'll do the intro and then you can say that.
Nope.
Okay, well, we'll get there. So this week we have a guest.
How you gonna announce this? How you gonna announce this?
It's gonna be much simpler than you think. Okay,
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
gonna pass it off. We have Ken Q, aka Q. That's it. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Ken. We've got Ken Q. You may know him from a number of projects, which he's going to talk about and introduce himself, because I wouldn't do it justice.
Devon butchering every sentence he says. So
yeah. So that's that. Ken, please.
Welcome.
Tell us who you are. Welcome.
So you bring me on so I can do your job. This is when you said you weren't like you weren't prepared, I didn't know you meant like you just got off work and read the first email and said, "What are we doing today?"
You didn't get the memo. You were supposed to do the intro too.
Oh my god, that is not true.
No, it's not.
But there's something that is true is that for some reason I was very nervous to do this podcast episode, and
He did say that.
Normally I'm not. It's because I have such respect for you because of your long hair.
Well, likewise.
Yeah.
All the viewers can see that, I'm sure.
Yeah, indeed. For those of you,
I'll say fuck you guys and your hair.
You lost your hair, we found it.
Yep, exactly.
For any repeat listeners, in the intro, sometimes I mention that Ryan has a bald head, so that's kind of where all that was, where all that came from.
For our viewers of the Patreon episode.
Yeah.
They'll see it, right?
Yes, yeah. Okay, let's get with it. Let's talk about what's going on here. Ken, welcome. Q, what's going on? How are you, sir?
Doing well, Devon. I would have to say it is probably hard to introduce me because I have been involved in a lot of different things over the last couple of years. 2 years ago, I had my anniversary of buying the first cryptocurrency, of learning about what's going on in the world. I spent about a year, almost a full year, like studying it all the time after hours work. April of last year, I resigned my position in the IRL world as a fire chief and said, I'm done, I'm out. And pretty big move I had to make because, part of it's to demonstrate to my children that you can do anything. You put your mind to it and go for it. Now, most people will start a business and then move out of their old business. But this whole Web3 space and what's going on here is wild. It's pretty cool. I over those year and a half, I've been involving myself in as much as possible, but trying to maintain, I don't want to say like the ability to sever from that, but to learn and grow, but not overcommit myself. So you guys had me on before, and thank you for the information that I guess I'm the first repeat.
Wish we had like a bell to ding or something.
Yeah,
put a drop in.
There we go.
That's awesome. That's better. Let's leave that.
No, but this is really cool because you guys had me on as a co. We had Dilly on as well. So Dilly and myself, we rolled and we were talking old money, which was a huge passion of mine. Still is completely. That's an NFT project that I was involved in from day one until present day and into the future.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that was built and how it was built. What introduced me to old money and what got me really intrigued by that was another project that the co-founder for old money had solo founded, which was Cardano Caricatures.
Yeah.
So that was the inception in August of 21. So August of 21, pre-smart contract era, while everything was just happening, that's when I was starting to get into NFTs. I had been into Cardano for almost 5 months, almost 6 months before that. And when I say into Cardano, I went from owning crypto to being involved in Cardano in really fast order. I didn't spend time just being a crypto guy and saying, oh yeah, I had ADA in my wallet. I had no idea what to do with it. It was on my hot wallet or on the exchange, even worse. I pulled my shit off as quick as possible because I learned, I was fortunate through Project Catalyst to be involved with stake pool operators, with developers, with a number of people who understood what Cardano was being built for. And while I was learning about that, things were happening in the background on the NFT scene. You know, I saw Spacebugs come out. I saw all the first announcements of the very first everything. I knew Barry. I didn't know that he had a stake pool because I was committed to my stake pools. I could have committed one freaking ADA into Barry's stake pool and gotten a Barry first 100. So like the missed opportunities, right? Like unsig, I was hovering to buy the unsig. So what's really neat was my Project Catalyst days were in and out. At my SPO stake pool ideation, I wanted to, I would love to, but I understand stake pool operation. I just didn't get it all the way into the dev side of it. I wanted to learn more, but you know, I've learned well enough to see that Plutus, Haskell, if you have no skills, it's going to take a long time to get those skills.
Yeah.
So the lessons learned from watching somebody with no experience and coming up and saying, hey, I want to do everything, there's a big learning curve.
Yeah. Which I think a lot of people mentioned many times about that's the slow adoption for people, developers wanting to come and build on Cardano. We've talked about that for a while, and there's different things happening about and I can't remember. I think I was looking at it a week ago or two, but they were talking about someone. It has to do with the EVM and porting and being able to write a Python script that's like translating Haskell or whatever, or Plutus or something. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's an integration to kind of connect it to Python, which of course is one of the easiest to start with. So people are part of about that.
Even with as much as I dug in, the part of that I understood was when he said whatever. No, I know what that. I get that part of it. It's all keywords, and like, I can say what the name of the language is, but I can't speak the language. Right.
Yeah.
So.
I get conceptual, but beyond that, you know.
Yeah. And there's a certain level of trust that you give to someone. Now, what's really cool about where I'm at now is my understanding of what blockchain, Cardano, NFTs. We have native assets that exist, but we have the integration of the Web 2 and the Web 3 world.
Yep.
So websites can't feature or highlight NFTs from Cardano because nobody's building that technology yet.
Right.
The one project that I've been a part of that's doing that and has been doing it for a year now is Old Money, and being hand in hand with watching Justin J. Cruz. He's Woodrow Wilson. He's come out of the, and then said, hey, this is me. This is what I do. And he's a solopreneur. He's done things in the past. He's brought his skills and experience into the space, and you can see what he and Trixon are doing with Old Money.
Yep.
So Cardano Caricatures was a caricature-based project that started prior to that. New opportunity came up, looked at it, what we can do, what can be done, and essentially put Cardano Caricatures into a self-induced coma, if you will. So for the last many months, ever since it went into a coma since then, Cruz and I have been talking and chatting about caricatures and what are we going to do, how are we going to launch it, how are we going to move it forward, building a trust relationship. The work that I've done with Old Money, it's essentially allowing me to become a project manager. As a CEO, I'm reluctant to say that title because it's not. It is. It's as a chief executive officer for a business. I have an LLC now. I have legal guidance. I have tax advisors. We have everybody that we've put in place that we have to do behind the scenes.
Nice.
And it's not. We didn't like hold off and say, hey, we're not going to go public until we have all these things in order and in place, because we're still building. We didn't want to make that idea of over promise, under deliver.
Right.
And
nice.
we got tired of it. The community got tired of hearing, well, soon, later, it's coming up. It'll be, and it just turns into platitudes. And it's really hard. Like, we really had to put a lid on it and work our asses off in the background, building the sites, building the connections, just having hours long conversation about what we are going to do, what we're not going to do. And that's what happened for that. And we had to make a marketing decision as well and say, what is this project for? Who are we marketing to, and what can it be in the future?
Mhm.
I like that as just an episode, maybe down the road, to sit down, even just do like a little roundtable with people of talking about what does go behind the scenes. Like, what does it take to actually have to build a brand, build a NFT project, and the amount of work that actually has to go into it. Like you were saying, prior to actually, a lot of people just start the project. Oh, I got a Discord. Let's do this. We have an artist. We have a dev. We'll do this.
Yep.
But it's all that other stuff you were just talking about that it's intriguing to me to see, like, sit down one day and just kind of sit and talk with someone and see like what the hell that all entails.
Yeah.
Well,
I know that Block is Hot did a great interview with Justin. It was a founders interview was basically, and if you get a chance to watch that one, it's like an hour long, picking his brains about what he did. And he shows all of his Notion documents, all the information, like checklist, go do this, check it out. And it's huge.
Check that out.
Yeah. And that's from a developer's point of view, and how much time you spend studying the entire ecosystem. So Cruz and I have been here since day one in the NFT world. We've been working on projects, multiple projects, reaching out to different things. You guys know me from what I've done with the oil paintings as well. That's a big one for me. And that's something that I can completely manage on the side as a hobby. That's actually my meditation. Like, if I get stressed out here, I can go upstairs and just work on a painting. I've made no promises that, hey, I'll have this done for you next week or next year. I'll say, hey, if I'm going to do this for you, just understand it's going to take a while. Or it might be overnight. I might just go on a bender and just rip it out and be done with it. So, but that is my meditative tool. And instead of just painting and putting it in a case, I now know how to tie it to the NFT world and demonstrate to other people how to do that. So if I just take a time out and say, from whatever I'm working on, and then talk to an artist and say, hey, here, I'll show you what I've done. Now go do it better.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. You've set us up for a bunch of different avenues to go on for the podcast. So let's start with, I like that I was going to ask you about, caricatures. I don't know what you call it. And I don't want to insult the project by saying version 1 or original version or whatnot. You know what I mean? But let's go there, because I was going to ask you about that, like this is a resurgence or a revisit or a redux or whatever you want to say, or maybe it's just like coming out of coma, like you said. Let's talk about that. And then I think I want to get back to the balance, and I think I want to get back to planning a Web3 project properly after. But tell us about the project. Actually, sorry, I know I just kind of said that. Brian, how would you pronounce the project,
Son
Brian?
Of a bitch.
How would you say this?
I can't say it. I'm not even. What is it? I gotta look at the word while I'm saying.
That's what you get for making me do that intro.
I didn't make you do anything. You just took it upon yourself.
No, you knew what you did. You knew I was in a mode where I was stumbling today.
Caricatures, but I can't. Yeah.
I mean, good for you. Good job, Ryan.
I can say it in my head, and then going to say it out loud. I'm like,
you nailed it. You nailed it, buddy. I mean, that's the first time I've heard you say it right ever, but you nailed it.
I heard a little enunciation in that middle A, but
yes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And
all right,
say potato, caricatures.
Like, tell us about the caricatures. Tell us about your project.
Sure. So we've kind of settled into calling it the OG version. All of the assets from the original set is there. There's only so much Web3 lingo you can change. People understand that, hey, OG means that beginning thing.
Yeah.
So those original assets that came out, the Charles came out, and when it was built in, this is my first NFT project mindset. It was built in, I want to have governance, I want to have voting, I want to have multiple traits, I want, like, all the different things that were really popular in September and August of 2021, where you threw a JPEG out there and you just got money back.
Yeah.
So there were 15 different assets associated with that. Each one of those and in a ranking table had a voting power associated with it. And it was thought through, but not with an understanding of what community dynamics are, what it means to build and grow into the future. And what he discovered very, very quickly is that, we alluded to this, none of the technology existed in 21 for native assets from Cardano, pre-smart contract especially, to do their thing on the website. I think, I can't say none, some were, but the ones that were, there was nothing out of the box. You had like AF with Dead Pixels that was doing his thing. He had to build everything. Anybody that had it associated with the website, Turbo Egon with you guys know Interstellar, Stellar Hoods, that whole, Stellar Hood, right?
Yeah.
Good. So that integration with native assets happens because one genius mind comes together with those assets and builds it. But everyone's in silos in 21. So there was nobody with time, nobody with the ability to say, here's my white labeled thing, go with it. So Justin had to make a decision to associate with just himself, and or how does he move forward with it? And then the old money opportunity came up, and he looked at, okay, I can build and grow with old money with an attitude of F off. We're gonna, hey, this doesn't work. Good, here, try and make it better. Where the community in the caricature side is more refined, if you will. Like one of the first questions in the new Discord was, is this PG or not? Because we have an auto overlap, and it's like, yeah, it is.
So good.
I'm gonna get a sticker made that just says wrong server. That
Nice.
That's
nice.
Old money swagger, and just like wrong server, and they'll know what that means.
Perfect.
So yeah, that was the difficult part, guys. That in that original setup, and trying to hold down. And he wasn't like, okay, it's done. He said, let's not do 15 more assets. Let's the smart contract era had just come upon us. The Gauguin was the next NFT that came out for the project, and instead of 15 traits, he did 3. And that was just basically color gradients for the 3 assets. He put some voting power in it because that would be, hey, when we get to the point of voting, these will have some weight. Then there was more and more delay. And then there was the Logan Hoskinson, where the Logan the Lobster became that trademark. So then he took the main image and then he put that on. And then he also had the artist, he used the funds to pay for the artist to start making new assets. JRN or Journey, JRNY, not J Crypto, but JRNY Crypto.
Yes.
There is an NFT fully packaged and ready to go that has been on hold since the beginning, but he didn't want to say, hey, I'll just keep releasing these assets with not building towards it. So it went on hold, and we said, okay, we're just going to stop what we're doing, and we're going to come back. We did a couple AMAs. I basically had control of the Discord for a while to talk to people as we came and went. I think we're down to like 120 people in the Discord. It was really idle, not much going on the front side. Now, what Justin and I were doing in the backside was that build, was that evaluation, was that study, was looking at, okay, who has what assets currently. Which, by the way, if you guys, if I told you that there were 1,000 assets in a project, and there were only 40 of them listed for sale, and they were divided amongst over 400 wallets.
That's great.
That is where
pretty good
caricatures paused. There was no dump, there was no purge, there was no anything. We were in that moment where everyone just said, okay, cool, we'll wait. And
that's great.
They're being patient. There's been a few people that have come and gone that still buying, still selling, still, there's times you have to get rid of your assets and get your ADA. You're not going to wait. You don't want to. No big deal.
Yep.
So it came down to a lot of decisions that had to be made during this, dark period where we're not forward facing. So does that make sense so far? Or, I don't know how much more to give you on the back end.
No, that's good. Yeah, we'll get the back end after. That's great. I love it. I was just thinking, I was like, OGs, holders. I'm not just saying this, but like if I had been one of those OG holders or whatever, I think even in those early days, I'm pretty sure those individuals could see that you guys weren't guys that were going to put something on ice and never show up again. Like when Ryan and I would talk a lot when we were more so in the, and we still do this. We're never going to stop from talking about projects. In fact, we're doing it now. Although I feel like this is also a project, but also cute. So there's a personality as an instance of use yourself, and as well as the project and projects. But when we're talking about projects, especially when we were like so green to everything, and we were in doing what you just talked about, looking at the space and trying to understand everything, we would look and be like, well, okay, who's the team? Are they ducks? Are they not? But like, what kind of commitment do we believe? And I think that was probably what your holders or what your community did, right?
Yeah.
So no, that makes sense.
And it's important to say that you guys said we're going to pause it in a sense where a lot of those OG projects that they were community takeovers, like Nomies and certain ones that I hold now, that I was like, oh, I could see people coming in that they're passionate about the space. Like 4-5 Jeff, like that guy comes in and he's so passionate. So I was like, okay, so I've been hanging around Nomies, but same thing. Like you guys were honest about, hey, we're just going to pause it rather than just not say anything or rug pull, right?
Yeah. And then you didn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's another key point that it's a feature for version 2 for our rebirth, what we're doing now, that I'll get into details when we get to that, but it is so important to know in the beginning, there were 1,000 assets, and then there were 500 Gogans and only 220 that were free claims for the Logans. So only 1,500 assets were sold. There was a promise being made at the peak of the bull market that you'll be able to claim your print. So one of the huge, like, that didn't exist. That wasn't an option for a lot of people, and he didn't have the answer for how this was going to be doing. So one of the good lesson learned, or that any founder, any consideration of anything needs to have, is before you make a promise, understand what it means to deliver that. We're not talking about 1,000 people in Northwest Ohio that I can postage market for 15 cents. This is a global community. And when you say you're going to have high quality prints of your asset made and you can claim it for free, it's not free. You've already paid for it because you bought the asset. So they had that investment. Their impression, my impression when I bought, even off the secondary, was if I hold this asset, the original founder has the funds to, like, baked in so that they can send the print somehow in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
Ada was $2.50 then. It's 40 cents, and we're happy at 40. It's not 30 anymore.
It's interesting. I'm so glad you brought this up, because I did when I was on the site. I was like, I thought to myself, I'm claiming my print, and like, it's not a big deal in Canada and Toronto. But I was just thinking, I was like, man, you guys might have to shift to some spots, But
So we have a solution for that. We will definitely talk about that. Because that is important. That is where there's multifaceted. Like, to revive a project is critically important. Like right now, we have numbers, we have details, but let me just throw round numbers at you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to start a business where I am getting 1,000 prints in a box in my garage, and I get everybody's address and I put them in there and I send them out to. No, that is not what I signed up for, and it's not my promise. That was Justin's promise.
That's awesome.
But that promise comes with the project I'm coming up on. When like Wing Warriors and a couple other big projects are reborn, and when Hoskins Sins they tried to revive that. You have to bring the community back. How do you reach out to people who have already cut the anchor? That's a hard thing to do.
That's very hard. Yeah.
But there's no lingering promise. So round numbers, if I tell you that it's $25 for me to print something and send it to anywhere in the world, that probably doesn't sound like a big deal until you multiply that by 1,000 and say, oh, so you're going to just pull $25,000 out of your savings account that you just retired from the refinery from to just fulfill this promise? No, we have plans in place to make those kinds of things. That promise will be fulfilled. It won't be in one drop. It'll be over a course of time, but it's also to spread out. So we have a mechanism built to allow for fulfilling that promise. So we want to pass the red face test at the end and say, did we come back in full faith, or did we lose some original people? We're at risk of a few different people that say, hey, I was told that I was going to get these. You will. It'll take you time. It'll take more time. And yes, dude, what are you going to do with 25 photos of do your thing? I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Maybe that is the thing that maybe they have a business model built around that because they own it, and that's fine.
That's awesome.
But the promise will be fulfilled. But what we're going to turn around and do is make it so that unclaimed assets. You guys are into old money. You recognize. You remember the coin drop?
Yep.
I'm maybe getting ahead of myself here with regard to the order of conversation, but
I love it. I'm fine. We're with it.
We're talking about the print, and if you know old money, you recognize that if you have a certain talking about just about the inflation times, if there's one that's listed on the JPEG store, I don't know if it's been used or not.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
Any project that has a function to use the NFTs one time, very few of them have the ability to actually do that.
Right.
JPEG store is not going to accommodate old money. They're not going to accommodate. Maybe we're big enough there in that project, but no, that's a hell of a lot of coding. So if you want to know if it's used or not, Cruise had already built the system in old money that you go to their website, you go to the wallet, and you see JPEG listings, used, unused, and you know exactly which ones are safe to buy, and that's from the company that's going to do something with the asset. So it isn't like a third party saying, "Oh yeah, we think that one's used," and they get it back. None of that. So
we talked about that when we were on. Yeah, it's good.
So what we're doing now is I will fast forward. Caricatures, the website, the technology is a white label of the old money technology. Everything that Justin's been building for the last year and a half, Codego Cruise, the company, is the developer of technology. And think about his future. Old money is a big part of his life. Caricatures is a big part of his life. The future is the bigger part of all of our lives. We don't know what it's going to be. So if you're not planning 3 steps ahead in 3 different moves, you're just going to be right where you're at. So what he's looking at doing, and what he's able to do, is everything he has done, all the work that he's put into old money, all the technology that exists, is marketable. Somebody's going to want to say, we want to do this, we want to do that, and Cruise has to say, dude, I have to figure out how to white label this. I got to pull back and stop. I got to make this happen. I got to test it. I got to organize it. Well, all of those products in essentially a free pass for our project, which is Caricatures, as he's the CTO, he's the chief technical officer. He's the one that's doing the white labeling everything, putting our brand on top of it and making it work. And those integrations, I can tell you, as smart as I ever thought Cruise was, it's coming together really nicely and very, very seamlessly. Like, it's like, he just spent a couple hours and all of a sudden you click on the little wallet icon and you attach your wallet. So, well, not just your hot wallet, but then you can also attach multiple wallets.
Yes.
So and so I've attached mine. I've got mine and my Ledger, a hot wallet and a cold wallet, both set up that are going through this, and it's working. And it's working.
Yeah,
really
I attached
well.
my NAMI 2 days ago.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
No, did not. Let's give it a shot.
It just 6 hours ago, this thing came to life.
All right, let's see what we got.
That icon wasn't there yesterday. I know that.
I saw a little wallet in the top right corner when I went to the Caricatures website. And then it came up and it was like, you can see NAMI. Yeah, I'll
it says building a transaction assign right now.
Give me a sec.
Let's see, put the password in, and
because I have a finance wallet or computer.
So the little wallet is a different color than it was before. Maybe
it might have been there just as a placeholder.
Before it was like gray. Now it's, well, I'm colorblind, but it's green or yellow.
Yeah, green.
So, but I think it says my wallet's connected. Yeah, I was connected a day or two ago.
I'm connected right now, so it's working.
Yeah.
No, but I can. Yeah.
So you can actually sync up. So I can actually add another wallet, and that will see that as well, as opposed to.
And it combines all of your assets.
Because most
you can-
websites, for anyone that doesn't know, is like you connect one and that's it.
That's actually
Right. So now you could do like, for example, I would love to see something. There's probably something out there for like the Ethereum projects, but Collabland, you can only do one wallet at a time to verify holdings in a Discord. I want something like this where I can connect 3 or 4 wallets. So I'm not constantly, if I move something, I got to reconnect and blah, blah. This is perfect.
This is huge. Let's
There's
pause
a
here
purpose
for a
for it,
second.
right? Yeah. No, it's to me, I was telling Justin why I would use, like, I guess if that's what you want to do. I'm like, dude, that's what this is for.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I have a hot wallet that I get stuff on and off. Like, if it's like having a garage sale, I got stuff in my house that I'm gonna hold and keep.
Yeah.
But I got shit out in the garage that when I'm gonna go to put it out for sale, I pull it out. I set it out for sale. It's not in my property.
That was a cool analogy.
Yeah.
I love
now
that.
My garage and my house are connected. Anywhere I have my assets are available. So whether it's money in the vault, money in the bank, money in your wallet, it shows up now. So
that's awesome.
I've got my assets in 2 different wallets. I've got one CC display wallet. So it has one of every asset in it. It's like a perfect collection of one of each. All of my other stuff is in my vault on my ledger. Those 2 wallets now show up and it shows my exact total. So now that I have that total, I can say, yeah, here it is. So whatever, and whatever I did, just doing that, when you go over to the website or over to the Discord now, since you guys just did it, if you click over, you will your name will change.
I never connected my Discord, but
I got to connect my Discord too.
But
I'll do that.
It's funny that it's so crazy because when I did connect it, I didn't even think about the add wallet, like what that meant. I just was like, cool. And I was just looking at Logan and Joseph, and then the 2 Charleses, and I was like, sweet, this is cool. Like the wallet connect works.
Do have a question. Who uses Yoroi still?
Right.
I saw it. And I was hold on. I was like, there's a blast from the past.
I've got a Yoroi on an old Samsung that I have to keep the old Samsung because I got a bunch of seed phrases and I keep on going through them. I haven't figured it out yet. Me.
So go back a year and a half or almost 2 years ago when it was just Daedalus and Yoroi. Nami was, I think, July of 21. Before that happened, July was there, September. You had the choice of which wallet you wanted to use. That was the only way to really do it. So if you were on Discord, if you were on Daedalus or Yoroi, when everybody moved to Yoroi, all the transactions were on that on-ramp. Then CC Vault came out. And when CC Vault came out, people started going into CC Vault and all the transaction speed increased on Yoroi because all the traffic was spread over. And then Nami jumped in and now there's Flint Wallet and you have all these other wallets that exist. So if the ecosystem is spread across all of them, somebody told me that the way the blockchain works, if you visualize that like a highway and you want to get your transaction online, you have to get on on-ramp to get on to that blockchain. If everybody's on this on-ramp, that's why you get delayed. You have to be the fastest clicker. You have to be, but if you go a mile down the road and you get on your own home built one, or if you get on, like if you had a Raspberry Pi built that has, you can just, you are straight on, like you cut a hole in the fence and you're right in.
That's awesome.
And that's how people got in faster. So like if Yoroi still there, which I assume it is, it's a business, that might be the fastest transaction speed right now. I'm not willing to try it. Not on a mint that I need to get on, but it may be worth checking it out.
I love that insight. This was great. I'm glad that we got there. Not that I'm going to use it either, but that was cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. That's big stuff right there.
So yeah, there's a future to that use case. The reason why you guys are able to do that now and beyond, it isn't just about seeing what assets you have. It's about creating an identity within our site and creating that user. So when Devon and when Ryan are in, that shows our user person. If you have multiple wallets, like that botting version, I have 7 wallets, I have 7 different computers set up, and I'm ready to go click, 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 and I'll see if any of them hit. Like you can manually bot that by setting it up by having multiple user accounts. Not here, honestly. Like when I use my finance computer to tie all my shit in, that worked. And then when I went to my work computer and I went to the website And now I don't have to connect my wallet. I've already connected through Discord. I just hit the button that says log in or connect with Discord. All my stuff is showing up on my work computer, which is unassociated with any of my wallets.
Nice.
But when I went back to my laptop, I was kicked out of that user account, because anytime you sign in on a different computer, you have one access to do this. So I
Perfect.
can't open up my laptop and my computer and mint on both. It's me. That's it.
Hmm.
So that's that's another appealing thing about the technology that's getting built here. When we mint, we are also not using any corporate, if you will, minting
Yeah.
service.
You know,
That's our own proprietary minting service.
So the wallet is I mean, sure, you logged in through Discord on your work computer, but the wallet is is like, that's it. That's your user, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
I like
so
it.
whatever assets you have now, why that is, we haven't even talked about this project. We just
You know
talked
what? I was about to just say, I was like, I love this. And when Ryan was like talking about like about just like, being able to connect through Discord and us, I was like, this is great. We're solving problems. And it's like, okay, I was thinking, let's pull it back. Let's maybe talk about what a caricature is. let's talk about let's pull it back. What is a caricature? If you look up caricature, it's going to say, like if you don't know anything about this, and this is a podcast with no video,
Sure.
Caricature being, those parody satire things that you'll see in the newspapers and the New Yorker and the Telegraph, I don't know, the Guardian and whatever.
Okay.
They're usually making fun of politicians and whatnot.
Okay.
Caricatures have been used for years. Are caricatures good?
Let me hit time out right there so you don't influence Ryan. If Ryan, you were asked to define what a caricature or a caricature is, how would you? I had to get one in there.
Thank you.
No, Ryan, how would you describe what a caricature is?
For me, it would be you're taking a walk in Central Park, New York, and there's a guy sitting there with a little easel, and you makes the funny little pictures of you and your family with the big heads and little body. To me, that's what that is. But that's my.
No, that's great. And I would, one of the questions I usually in my one interview that I've had so far with the project is, have either of you ever had a caricature made of yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Once.
That scenario I just said, I did it. We were in New York and I did that.
So you remember now, or especially for that, you remember that, like,
yes,
in your heart, like that is, I'm here. It probably takes you to that moment, that 20-25 minutes where you were sitting there, that apprehension, not knowing what it was going to look like, how elaborate, how accentuated, which features are going to pick on.
Exactly.
Are you young? You're so vulnerable in that moment, but it's a special moment, and especially when they're like, "This is what you look like to me." Like, no, I don't. But it's fun. Devon, how about you? What was your experience?
Yeah, so all I remember is my caricature had rollerblades on, and that's what I cared about at the time, because he was like, "What do you like to do?" And I was like, "I like to rollerblade," because I was a kid, So I was more focused on that, but it was so cool because of what you said, and I didn't think about that. I was just thinking, this is the blockchain. We don't have time for emotions or feelings.
That was a great explanation.
So realistically, I'm like, it actually was an emotional response, and it was positive, but in my question before, I was trying to put you in a spot where you'd have to talk about it and be like, are caricatures good or bad? Because depending on, where they come from, they're usually making fun of the people. But you didn't let me do that. You just flipped it back on me and said, talk about the feeling.
We absolutely can. Now, humor is definitely a way to tell the truth, and where other people don't want to see it, and where the embellishment goes with that truth, somewhere in the middle is the reality. Like, to me, that kind of art is, you either take a photograph or you go with like a caricature. Yeah. And like, hey, it's just like every story. Like, I've got kids. I don't know if you guys have kids, but that for every, how do you say it? So you get into an argument and you're trying to figure out what happened. That one person is telling a lie, the other person's telling a lie, and the truth will never be known. Like, that's the three sides to every story: mine, yours, and the truth. So if you take a photograph of somebody, and no shade on photographers, because there are some amazing photographers that do things, It's a click of a button, man.
Mm.
That is, catch them in the right angle. You know, there is a lot of skill to it, but you do all of that and you go click. For an artist to have to do that, and as an oil painter myself, like I couldn't imagine trying to capture as lifelike as possible oil painting. Caricature artists just whip it through really, you know, they knock it out. So you have to be careful about which art, for us in our project, we're careful about which artists we are evaluating to do which theme or which cycle. So as we'll get it, we will get to that, I promise. This project, we're 40 minutes in going, what the heck is this project?
This project. Let's start at the beginning.
But no, it's about coming around to those moments in time, and it captures that precious moment. It captures that with you're in the raw, you're vulnerable, and you remember that. What's nice about the blockchain side of it is you two have probably not seen that picture or drawing since it was made. It might be in your mom's scrapbook, and it may be somewhere, but now these are on chain. They're in your wallet. They're immutable. You'll always have access to the link to where it's at,
and the prints,
and all of the Charles ones. Yes. So these are not going to be. My wife says hello. She's calling you guys. I'm calling you guys the pizza guys because that's where we met in sports book. You guys were eating pizza.
Yeah. Oh man, those pizzas are so good.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, adding on the caricatures and where I was going, when I think of when I think of the artwork of Charles, I actually think of like reverence to him, because I think it's not exaggerated in any buffoonery way or whatever. It's like it's got the perfect balance of exaggeration of features and I don't know. I think it's done in a really, really good way. Yeah.
And that is a big shout out to Z. Z is the artist. That he's from Austria. He does caricature. He does speed work. Like that's his. Oh, cool. He does that fast. Like he goes to corporate events. He goes to weddings, and he just knocks out really fast drawings. They sit down, and then move on. It's just black and white. But he also does the internet Photoshop style where it takes him 2 days to go to us. Like, oh, that's 2, but that's 2 days of hard work, 3 days sometimes to get these put together. So yeah, where do we start? You guys ready to start?
I guess so.
All right.
Let's do it.
So if you're listening to this and you're just kind of hearing what's going on and you don't have a computer in front of you, I would suggest you could pop over to the Caricatures website at some point, or maybe even look at it from here. And a lot of what we're talking about in the project is this page right now is a 1-page version, well, 2 pages now that we have a dashboard that walks you through really what we're doing and why we're doing it. This is set up so that our community, anybody that's a member of the community, can help build the design, help pick the next feature, and decide. We're going to decide who we're going to do next. We want to make sure that your voice is heard. You know, I'm kind of reading off the website, but it's very important because recognizing that this isn't a PFP project per se. This isn't somebody that says, here's 10,000 of something. If you like it, great. And this is not a project where we are selling 10,000 and then we're going to deliver something in the future. We're selling 1,000. The first 1,000 that we're selling, half of them we're giving away at half the price. The rest of them we're going to sell at public. We're focused on the mechanics, the mentality of how the NFT space goes. Part of the evaluation that we did going into a public launch is doing your research and recognizing who is your audience, who are we actually trying to talk to. I have tried to no avail to explain this to my mother. It's not going to work. This isn't mass marketing. This isn't something that we don't want the Joe Rogan effect to happen either, where hey, let's pick that guy and have him, and then all of a sudden he shows up, and we're not ready for 1% of his population to show up.
Sure.
We want, and during this build cycle, or during this phase for the first few phases and cycles, we are going to highlight, feature, accentuate, thank, and celebrate the victors in the Cardano space over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We're gonna pick the theme. So really, where our hands are at is we did the first 2 cycles, and when we take our first 2 phases of the cycle, what we're designing is a submission phase where anybody that's in the community can submit who they want within the theme. Then the community, we aggregate all that data. Then the community votes on who they want to be featured. Then we decide from the submission data and from our own liking and understanding and our artists that we have on deck, we will set up, okay, here is our Jane Doe. Here are the 5 times that everybody said they were really excited about what she did for the community. So we want the artist to do these 5 poses. That's during that support phase, the artist gets to work and they hammer it out for, we're trying to get it set up so that within 2 weeks, but during that is the onboarding phase of that community and cross-pollinating. Once the artwork's done is the claiming phase and the minting phase. So there's a stack of early mint discounts. This pre-cycle, half of them are on early mint discount. The first full cycle, it's going to be a much smaller amount, but to reward the people who have multiples, to reward the people that have been contributing, to have, if I have interviews with different people, I can say, hey, here's a handful for you to give away and send out. That is that early mint discount. They're going to get another 50% discount on the next mint, and that brings them on. That helps bring more people on board in that way. So,
why, thank you, and NFG listeners, enjoy. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, and absolutely. I think what was the magic number? 5 for you guys? 3? Something like that?
Ryan and I were talking, and then we didn't tell you yet.
Okay.
So we
very
know.
Good. Well, how are you doing? So yeah, it is a lot. I realized the burden of saying, yeah, we're going to give out 450 of these right now. I have to collect 450 Discord IDs now.
Yeah.
Oh, the fun.
Yeah. And that's manual input into the system so that you have it. Now they're stackable. So if you happen to be in any one of the other 20 communities, or if you're on there's opportunities for giveaways within our community itself.
Yeah.
There's a heavy load that goes, there's 200 of them going to the caricatures community alone. Whether you're just a community member, 40 of them are set for visitors. So you might show up, you might be listening to this stream right now going, I don't have any. What do I do? Go to caricatures.art, log in, go to the Discord, discord.gg/caricatures. And if you don't have any assets, when the time comes that we start our giveaways, the visitor giveaway means you don't have anything. You can't qualify for anything else, so you qualify for that. But for those of us that have assets, you can't qualify for the visitor.
Oh, so I like that.
It locks everyone out. There's 7 giveaways, but for the holders, there's 6. And for those old G's, like we talk about, hey, we have all these old ones. And, bad news for some people is that we're taking the voting power away from the OG assets. So the numbers that were associated are so off the charts with how many assets there were, what the voting power is, where the ranking. There's 15 different ranks. We're cleaning this. Part of the rebranding is repurposing and understanding. Our 1,000 assets are going to have a total of 1,000 or 10,000 voting power.
Okay.
When we do our first vote, our first submission, and our first vote, tell you what, let's do it this way. Since we're doing narration, ask me your question. But awesome. I do have a little note. Give me just a second.
No, it's great. I won't say anything because I don't want to break this chain right here.
I know. I was gonna say something too, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
was
save
like,
it.
No, I'll wait. Right.
You
just get that Jeopardy music going. Yeah.
Well, I'm just a few seconds away with what we have. What I have is we use. Do you guys ever use Notion as a?
Yeah,
as
I
a
love
tool?
Notion. I love it. Yeah, I store movie lists and checklists in that.
Okay, and that's what I've been learning as I go, because
it's intense.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot to it. Now, Cruz is like wizardry at it, and I'm learning it. But I'm bringing in. I'm not an idiot. I know how to do things. I just don't know about it, so it takes a little bit of time to learn.
Well, Notion's, forgive yourself. Notion's so Yeah, it could be like pretty simple, but it goes so deep. It's
It's
fun.
deep. It is,
It's
yeah.
quite the application. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, so we have four official phases, but you have to recognize that as a community member, as somebody who's new to the space, and part of our evaluation for it is that the first real phase is where you learn about it. You maybe you're listening to this and you had no idea that it existed.
That's
Yeah,
definitely going to
so
happen.
yeah, and we have to evaluate how do we reach people. So being on the marketing train, getting out, handing out freebies, and we don't want to do the whitelist. I hate the whitelist as it's been in the last 10 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you have the right to buy for full price. No,
No. I love the MD document. It's good.
Yeah, and it's the idea that it's an early mint discount. One, it's for an early mint period. You can't get the discount once we go public. Sorry, I'll be your dad and say no, you missed it. Sorry. But if you have that early mint discount, that gives you the opportunity. It's a reservation for you to mint during a given period of time, and you're in. And that gets you in the secondary market earlier. You're getting it, you're getting it at a half discount for everything else. If you got two of them, however you look at it in your own sense, that's just where it is. But if you learn about the project, whether it's from friends, family, commercials, Super Bowl ads, I don't know, we'll see where we get in the future. Whatever it is that gets you to see it, you walk in, you sign in by Twitter, you get a notification that our submission phase is about to start. During the submission phase, that's where you're going to get a message from us as the moderators, as the whoever it is in the future. But we're going to say the theme of the day is, let's see, last interview I used the idea of the women of Cardano. And that's a good idea to say, hey, let's feature and celebrate the women of Cardano.
Hell yeah.
Then you have, maybe it's YouTube influencers. And I don't like the phrase influencer myself. I get that it's there. It's an educator, whether you're doing good education or bad education, is whether you're a good influencer or bad influencer. What influence are you pressuring or putting on people?
Yeah.
I love Cardano Thor's like, you've been influenced. So, but we might do, Cardano YouTubers as a theme to celebrate the YouTubers. So let's use that as this example and what it is. So we're going to say Cardano YouTubers. When you're connected, now that you're connected, you have your wallet, your dashboard, you're going to go to a submission page for that submission phase. While we're in the submission phase, you click the button, it's going to bring the pop-up, and your user account gets one submission. You're going to have the name of the person, and we're going to ask for links or connections, because there's no guarantee I know who you're talking about.
Right.
But here's the links to this influential moment. Like, give me 2 influential moments where that person was important to you.
Cool.
And then give me no more than 500 words why you're submitting this person. So we're asking for effort. I don't want you to just be like, well, Joe Rogan has 665 million. No, tell me why this person has changed your life. Tell me why we're going to spend money to make their caricature so that we celebrate them. Tell me why you want them in our community.
Wow.
Why we want to spread and integrate, not just followers and likes. So for the sake of, tomorrow I'm going to be on with the CNFT News.
Oh, cool.
So we've had you guys, CNFT News, and Freedom 35ers this week. Out of all of the submissions during, call it 48 hours, 3 days, whatever it is, our community, in the beginning is going to be small, but imagine the future.
Yeah.
We're going to have a database that gets automatically filled and pre-populated. We have tech at our fingertips. And we're going to know that the Cardano YouTubers that hit the top 3, top 4, top 5 are going to show up. And then we're going to have to look at that on our side and say, you know what? Devon was really, really rude to Ryan. We don't want to, we're going to make a.
This is perfect.
No.
This is perfect, he says. I feel heard. No, you don't, Ryan. Don't forget it.
Devon, it's actually because Ryan can't pronounce our project's name.
Probably, yeah. That's
Caricatures. Charcuterie board.
That's cool. I literally was
Yeah.
wondering how this mechanism was going to go down, and you guys are like,
So that's just the submission phase, right? And all the data comes in and all that is there. Now, in the first few cycles, while we are a two-person show, and I say two, we have an artist, that's a third person. This has been nice. When I was doing the oil painting, I had to do dev, I had to do tech, I had to do art, I had to do marketing, I had to do community management.
Jesus.
When you're the solo person, there's a lot going. Having just 3 people right now, Z is focused on the art. He sends us art, and I go, "Oh, change this. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Yep, perfect. Let's do it. Here's your money. Here's our asset. We're done. We can start teasing it out. Let's go." When we come to the technology side of it, I've got a pretty good handle on the Discord side, but Cruz has got a year with old money, more than that, where he's like, "Oh, don't do this, change this. Here's where you do the color." And we're hitting it on every mark. And I get to spend the night talking to you guys. He gets to sleep. I doubt it because he's working on both projects right now. But no, that's what we're able to do right now in the small phases. And as we grow, we may look at hiring liaisons. And when we get to when we're in the submission phase, Ryan, you may say, "Listen, I need $500 a month. I need 400. I need 30. I'll do this for meth. I don't care. Whatever your thing is." You might just want NFTs. Who knows?
I'll do it if I have a 30-minute phone call with you once a week, and you give me life advice.
All right.
That's not bad.
Mentorship.
That's not bad, right? It's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
We think we're joking here. Okay.
Right. So everybody in the community has submitted their who they want and why. So now we know with motivation and sincerity why this is. Even in the beginning, when we only have 1,000 assets and maybe 500 wallets or people that are connected, because the only way you can submit is if you're part of the community. Right. The first cycle is only 1,000. I don't expect to have 10,000 people show up. We are not expecting to sell 10,000 assets and then give you something in the future. We're selling 1/10 of that 10,000 asset collection that has 5 different features, and these are the Charles. The next 1,000, you guys get to decide who we're going to go and who we're going to feature and what we're going to do. The next 1,000 is from you guys as well. The next 1,000, and when we get to 10,000, every cycle we've already delivered. I've already made my promise. I should be able to hang up my hat at any time and say, "Okay, we gave you it, and we're there." So we're going to move forward.
So that even I like earlier on, it was a little while back, you said with the OG holders or whatnot, still there's no hierarchy in the voting or this and that. You're part of the community, you're a holder, part of the community, you have that one influence point, and that's across the board.
Yeah.
For each cycle.
For each cycle. Now it changes on the next phase a little bit, and that's where the voting phase comes in. So whether it's that land grab mentality where it's hey, this guy owns everything, to me, to what end? And that's only going to happen for a short period of time. So let's say by some miracle, somebody buys half of the assets in this first mint and they have 50% voting power. Okay, you broke us. Who do you want? We're picking a phase. You're going to be submitting. Only the people that have the assets get to submit, and then we get to vote. So it minimizes the opportunity for dominance from any whale. It's sort of an anti-whale campaign to that sense, to say you could have a whole lot, and it's going to have voting power. You're going to have a say in what you'll have a heavier influence on who you're voting for. But guess what happens on the next cycle? That we are adding 1,000 assets. We are adding 10,000 voting power to the community. So if you have some of the first ones and now you get some of the second ones, that's not going to be half going to the early mint. There's only be about 50 of them in that early mint. 900 are on public. So you're going to be trying to get in for all of that. And that increases the number of people in our community. Who's buying that first one? If we're talking to and about Cardano people, and we're talking about YouTubers, we already got a significant amount of marketing from all YouTubers who said, "Submit our name, go in there. Hey, do you have the OG? Do you have, get in there, go." And it should start that when we're holding off, I'll be honest, we're holding off on the YouTuber ones for a little while because
I was wondering that. Yeah.
Yeah. because that's free marketing, right? And I would rather celebrate the women of Cardano. I'd rather celebrate other people. I keep hinting towards that. That may be one of the first ones that comes out. It may not. We honestly don't have it. And that's why it's so, I don't have a schedule for the next 12 cycles. Then I'm gonna say, we're gonna hit this, and this. What we do have is a Venn diagram based on Charles is in the center, Cardano is there. So as that grows, then we have rings around it, like musicians of Cardano, you have artists of Cardano, you have the women of Cardano, you have the YouTubers in Cardano. So wherever those overlap, that's another set. And if you just throw a dart at Lex Friedman and you say, well, he interviewed no, we're not doing Lex. Because
that's cool.
Today, not now, we need to break out of our silo, and we're going to work our way out as we grow, as we network, and as we move forward.
I like that.
Yeah. So, boy, it was an important part there. But yeah, the voting part, when you're linked and you're going to get a notification from the community somewhere along the way that it's time to vote. And all you got to do is go in. You're going to see the top 3 on the voting page, and you'll have a link. If you want to read everyone's submission and why, if you want to spend as much time as we should be spending on Project Catalyst reviews, then you go in and you look at it and you pick why that is, and whoever that winner is, like all of the aggregated influential moments, all the aggregated comments will be there. We might even throw one of those word charts together where you input all the words, and whichever word comes up the most,
it makes a cloud, the word cloud.
Yeah, the word cloud. Yeah,
that thing.
That would be a good visual for it. But that page is like a voter's document to say,
right,
here's all the information, and it's not from me or Cruz, it's from the community. This is why these 3 became the top picks.
Is that something that you have any intention of associating as an additional document with the NFTs that you might create?
That would be fun,
because
here's your dossier.
Just because when you think about it, like, I can't imagine, like, so the individuals that get selected in the different cycles, like I'm sure it's gonna bring
a fun little commemorative,
it's gonna be really
NFT kind of thing.
And like the community, the blockchain community, which will never stop, and like it's global, and like you're gonna see your influence in a tangible way outside of numbers or community or podcast listens or whatever. I think that you could be onto something here. No, I'm just obviously.
I think where you're going, we have in the works. That's where the liaison.
Yeah. I love it. It's cool. There's more to
the assets themselves. When you go to the page, if we have a word cloud, if we have all the details, that's for our community, our voters to say we want non-fungible guys. We've chosen them. That's what we picked. And if everybody picks them, then I currently, as a liaison or whoever it is in the future, has to reach out to non-fungible guys and say, listen, our community chose you. We are going to be featuring you as caricatures in our project. It's an NFT project. Yeah. And we're using, there's some keywords that we'll use and how we'll say that. But if I come to you and just be like, hey, we're doing you guys, and if you guys want to be a part of it, great, whatever. Or if we say, listen, Devon, Ryan, here's a document. You can spend time reading if you want to. But out of maybe it's the 4th cycle, and we say out of 4,000 people that submitted in this vote, your name came up 3rd most out of anybody. And they said that these were the most influential moments in their lives and why they chose for you to be featured and be rewarded and be celebrated. And on top of that, everybody had to submit up to 500 words. Some people put 1 or 2 words. Some people put long sentences or links to a blog about you, whatever it is. Right. Here it is.
That's
guys,
awesome.
Here, I'm just going to give you unsolicited feedback from 4,000 people. Take it for what and they go,
there's value there.
Serious? Wait, what are you guys doing? Well, we're actually going to be featuring you as a caricature. Do you guys know what ADA is at Cardano? It's well, you guys do, right? But when we talk outside of our circle, I don't expect we're going to be talking to people that know what we're dealing with. Yeah, so we're building it now so that I want your feedback. If you guys win it and we have this member and you go, okay, cool. Hey, that was really cool. Okay, now imagine, because we're all Cardano and we're all trying to expand, if you were somebody that didn't know this and this came to you at your doorstep, how would you feel? Probably the same. Probably overwhelmed that a community you didn't even know exist is
Hmm.
has eyes on you,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
awesome.
want to feature you. And it wasn't just, hey, we picked you out of random. Thousands of people in our community voted for you, and this is how we're going to celebrate you through respectable art. Or maybe it's comedians of Cardano, and we find the caricature artist that does super exaggerated craziness.
Yeah.
And those 5 stand-up shows that they did where they were in different outfits or doing different things, those are the images that we're going to caricaturize.
Well, I think that it goes both ways, because I mean, depending on the themes you might think of, now you could be in the education game. Like, I mean, as in the person that the people, the group that wins or whatever, and they have all
Yep.
these associations and word clouds and whatnot. Now you have a mess. So, and everyone's people, it's an NFT project. People outside of the community are going to see it. It's going to be whatever. And now that,
No, it's not though. It's an art project that
well,
celebrates people
right.
through NFTs.
Through NFTs. Okay. I like that. Okay. But yeah, no, there's opportunity here for a lot of different impacts. Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
we're in the era of where you drop the C, and we're beyond that. We're kind of dropping the NFT completely. Like the whole last year was like Cardano NFTs, CNFT has no, everyone
Everyone's
knows
freaking
Cardano
out.
has C. We have the
Yeah.
Cardano. Great.
Oh, so
But
is that
now
where
we have
you are on the
NFTs.
debate of whether we should be CNFTs versus NFTs? I don't even know where Ryan and I stand on that anymore. I think we talked about it in one episode.
We did have it as an episode. I think we were going to drop it and say we're in the NFT,
Yeah.
but then then we flipped on it and we're like, no, we're part of the community.
By the end of the episode, we were like back where we started.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
At best, lowercase c.
I like that.
No, there's a little bit to this. We started as Cardano caricatures.
Yeah.
That if that brand goes for 3 years, for 5 years, how quickly are we going to want to drop Cardano?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't. Maybe is that going to be the tag? It isn't Nike shoes. It's Nike.
Yeah.
Your brand is what it is. And it isn't like or caricatures NFT.
Yeah.
No, just caricatures. A year from now, we're going to drop everything we can and say, what's your brand?
Mhm.
Caricatures. We got caricatures. Oh, well, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Digitally. Oh, you guys do it digitally? Yeah. Well, it's actually through NFTs. Oh my God, you guys are in that market too? Absolutely, we are. Well,
Cool.
you guys got to be on Bitcoin, right? Nope. we're doing Cardano.
Yeah,
NFTs.
you know how those conversations go. Yeah. Ryan, it's a Web3 podcast.
I'm just sitting here. What do you mean? But I was
don't
saying,
forget it.
All the
buddy.
Bitcoin NFT talk lately, been floating around everywhere.
I've seen that. Yeah. All right, where are we?
So we just talked about the vote. We did the voting phase, support phase. Well, it's if you just rip right through it and you go, hey, that's why the website is there. You can go, oh, this, and this. If you understand it all, as you get more information, that's where the Dior, do your own research. So you got to understand what you're investing in.
Yeah.
And this is investing in a project that's delivering right away. There are NFTs that are associated that you can go to the secondary and do your thing with. This allows for, I think, 35ers asked a great question. Why not just drop 10,000? What are you going to do with the money? Is this enough money to move you forward? This is enough money to move us into the next cycle. The next cycle is enough money to move us into the next cycle and go forward from there. That is a model I feel morally aligned with way more than asking for $850,000 so that I can do 10,000 variations of a cat or whatever the other hot topic is for today.
I definitely appreciate
Oh my
that.
gosh. I love it.
And again, that is the business model
fine.
in this space right now. Let's get 10,000 out there. But how many projects have had the goal of 10,000 and they've hit 2,000 or 3,000 or 1,000, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're going to shut the doors.
Yep.
Or we're going to rejig the whole model, throw the roadmap out the window. We're going to figure this out. We're here for you, which is great. But I like this iterative process. Also, the community now. I'll ask this. What's your cycle, your estimations though for each? Yeah. What's your estimations for each cycle? Like, what do you think time wise? Are you expecting that it's like every 6 months, every 3 months, or is it once a year you're putting out 1,000? Because then you have like different. milestones of
this is
community engagements and things you can do, right?
Ryan, how long did you sit in Central Park to get your drawing done?
30
It
minutes.
wasn't right. It
Like,
was caricature artists work fast.
yeah.
High quality caricature artists, even these are only take 2 or 3 days
Yeah.
to get in and get done. Community growth, the way that we are looking at this is a 4-week cycle, maybe 5 if we're taking a break to do it. So from the submission phase where we announce what the theme is for this cycle, it may be, and I say these are still variables, flux. Right now, we're trying to see what the community likes with the first. Here, we're handing them all out. On our first full cycle, we're going to say the theme is blank. Go to our website, submit the forms, and give us the data. Then we're not going to announce that voting phase is 2 days later because we may get overwhelmed with each phase. This first cycle that we're going to go through is going to take a little bit of learning. Make sure the database is in proper CSV file format so that we can actually aggregate it and do what we want with it. Then we're going to come out with, okay, here's your top 3. You guys have 48 hours, or maybe we make it 3 days, and here's 72 hours to submit your vote. Then all we're asking for you to do as a community member is to go to the website, click a button, take as much time as you want to review it, but click the button that you want to submit, and you can go about your NFT business until you get the next notification that it's time to claim and mint. And that may be 2 or 3 weeks from now, or you could be a heavy community member where you make your submission and then you vie for it and you try and, hey, I want to convince, I really want people to like what we're doing. And so you stay in the active community and you're going for it. Maybe a community manager from somebody that's getting submitted stays in there and lurks for a while and tries to like, hey, you guys, this person or that person.
Yeah.
So we don't know where all that's going to go yet. And educate. But yes, influence.
I'm like unintentionally pushing the buttons now that I'm aware.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. There you go. I let you know where my goat's tied. That was my bad.
That's awesome.
I do want to point out this website is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's so like clean. It's just like colorful. It's I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, but I'll let Cruz know when he listens, and I'm sure he'll hear that. So it is. I do enjoy it as well. It's easy.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about it. And it'll grow and it'll get bigger as we go.
For sure.
So okay. Next.
Yeah, so further in that cycle description, when we're in the support phase, the artist is doing their work. They're gonna send us some teasers. As we start to get some of them, we can engage with the community with that community outreach. Spending time in the Discord, community-led initiatives. I don't know who is going to do it. Maybe somebody likes. I'm not in the beginning. I'm not trying to orchestrate poker games or click likes and like none of that. But if people in the community want to hang out in our community, it's open. It's a wide open server. We're ready to go. If we find posts from new character artists, we watch some more YouTube videos. I'm going to be constantly out amongst the crowd and talking to people. And what's really neat is once we have that winner, maybe I get them on board and we have that interview.
That's exciting.
If they're receptive to it and they're like, hey, you all voted for John Doe. Here's John Doe. Let's talk to him and interact. And they voted for him to be on board. And now that we have their full and undivided attention, that person's probably going to be crying like, oh my God, like I didn't realize how much I had an impact on such and such and whatever it is. There you go. Like that's like a dream type scenario where we get somebody that doesn't realize how much of an impact they've made. And that would motivate me to move forward and do things. So that's what's
heck
fun.
yeah. No, that's cool.
And then we'll in the background, we're going to be doing all the mint details, preparing it, loading the database, getting all of the metadata set up and aggregated into the mint machine. And then we go into the claim phase. That's a pretty short period of time, but it may be like 36 hours for that claim period with a 12-hour gap and then mint day. And then we launch into mint.
Yeah.
And then we got to see what happens on that first mint day. How do we sell out? Do we have people waiting and queued in line or did everyone just go, hey, we just showed up for the early mints and then now nobody's showing up for we'll see where it goes. But so then it repeats. This first cycle will be a little bit, maybe 6 weeks, but once it's dialed in, all the work that Hood is putting into making this happen, I'm not going to say it's single time application, but white labeling the website, getting all the tech built, putting everything together,
Okay.
and then launching it forward, it doesn't change much after that.
Right.
Tweaks
Yeah.
and things. Like, I know how to use Webflow. I don't need him to make a
Nice.
spelling change. I don't need him to update the image on it. I'll have access to that, and I'll do that. And go further. We keep tangentializing, but for his world, I get to be the test dummy for Codego Cruise's platform, for that white labeling platform.
Yeah.
All the systems, like, he's taking notes on how I react and what questions I ask. And I'm sure he has a whole list where, dude's a dumbass. Why did he, like, he doesn't know this, that. But he's building that so that when he screens the next person that comes on and says, I got a project and I need tech.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft, like, you want to do QuickBooks? Here's QuickBooks. Go figure it out. They don't have people to interact with it because enough people have asked the questions. They built it out,
Yeah.
and that's the software program. Now, I'm not saying that his minting suite is all of it's going to be a straight up package where you pick and choose which ones you want, but that'd be pretty cool. That's we limit yourself in the over promise, under deliver. You want to under promise, over deliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we just taught you have to look to the future and say, boy, that would be really cool. But that's not part of our promise. One of the most important things to remember is that the most important thing is the most important thing. For us in this project, it's this cycle. It is rewarding, it's celebrating, and it's featuring people who our community chooses to celebrate and feature. There's going to be tangential thing. There's going to be merchandise. If we get to a certain point, we'll have merchandise out there. But if merchandise doesn't work, I can cut that arm off and say, okay, nobody wanted to buy their own print. They only wanted to claim it. We did the technology to do that. It still exists. Let's turn that on. Not yet. We still got to get all the other, we got to get submissions ready. We got to get, once we get feeling comfortable, you can start adding things like thinking about CNFTCon or NFT NYC, or bragging about what you're doing to other, like, hey, we reach out to this person. Okay, well, let's wait. Let's get the most important thing done first. And our core is getting these cycles to rotate, ideally in that 4-week rotation. If something happens in our ecosystem and it takes me 6 months to deliver, I failed. You failed. You're just behind.
To deliver a one cycle.
Yeah. So if and I guess I mean that, like, if somebody says there's a problem, we need a solution, and it's going to take 6 months to deliver that, we're moving so fast. You're there. So what even though this is just an art project, it is a art project. It's a community growth and understanding. But in a month, while this cycle's happening, something big might happen. Whether it's a hard fork, that's a soft fork that nobody even knew was forked. That's kind of a thing of the past. But when we go to the Voltaire era, that's a pretty big, significant thing that'll happen in the Cardano ecosystem. Maybe we highlight that somehow, and we do devs of Cardano. And it's got to be front-facing people. I can't have a caricature artist do a caricature of a whale 5 times and say, "Oh, we all love Cardano whale." But
it's funny you said that, because I was thinking to myself, I'm assuming they're going to be people, but like, what if people are just doing ridiculous submissions and like they aggregate? Like, you've all heard of Bodie McBoatface, so that's a thing. I was thinking to myself, okay, let's say everything's on the rails, which it is, and you guys have planned this, which you do, and you have many avenues and directions to make sure your project is evolving in all different directions, which I'm sure you are. If you guys execute the cycles, perfect, you could be at the 10th cycle in, I don't know, like 14, 15 months or something. That's a year and a little bit. What's happening after that, buddy?
What's going on in the what's happening in the ecosystem a year from now? I don't know. Like, that is where, if our community, after let's say we get 10 cycles down the road, and we did it perfectly, flawlessly, and it's 10 months from now, we did it in 4-week cycles, bang, bang, bang. That means that we now have a 10,000 asset collection. That means that
let's just say it's 2024.
Well, no, if you wanted to be an ape society, you would have ideally had been January of 21, or sorry, January 22, minting or buying them at 500 to 300 to whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And you can look in hindsight and say that was a huge thing. But they're not minting anymore. They're doing random things that are secondary to the collection.
Yeah. It's a community maintenance thing now.
Oh yeah.
Not discrediting it anyway, but I don't feel like I'm now going to inject into that because I feel like that boat's out sailing.
Yeah. So what you're looking at now is a year from now is oh wait, what is this caricatures thing? Okay. When you are available to mint, guess what? This cycle's coming. Just be join the community now.
Yeah.
Recognize that there are 10,000 assets, but another 1,000 are coming. Now you can start voting with the community and you can grow with them. And what caught your attention? Go back to that first non-phase. How did you find out about our project? If our project, you can't invest in something you don't know about. You can't take part in it. If you don't know anything about Hobie cats, you're not going to be a sailor because you're not near the water. It just doesn't apply to you. Yeah. So if our project does not apply to you because it's an NFT, we're done. I'm out. It's Web3. Nah, I don't care about that. It's Joe Rogan. Wait, what? You guys like Joe Rogan? What are you doing? Well, we're selling art that features Joe Rogan. Oh, cool. Well, tell me more about it. Great. It doesn't matter what we did for 3 years before that because we're at a point where our community of 3 years down the line, when we have 30,000 assets, we have 20,000 voters, we have voting power that is established across the entire ecosystem. And now we're like, yeah, who's Joe? Oh, that's right. That's that guy that does podcasts. Let's bring him on if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I like it.
But that is why we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, we can continue to grow and you don't have to buy that old asset. You can buy right now's asset. Yeah. If you want to buy it, guess what? Everybody that's in it now who has these assets, there's a secondary market. Go play.
Yeah.
You put it out there and you can trade and sell. And somebody wants to, well, I can't buy into it now. Yeah, you can.
You can.
Yep. And you could do the whole collection if you wanted to. If you wanted to have one of each from every series, you're going to have people that really love our product. And there it is.
Yeah. No, well said. I like the many entrance points. That's actually, sure. I think, something that that's key. A lot of projects need. And maybe we'll see more of that. I don't know. We got
to set the standard, show off what we're doing and how we're doing it, and let people say, "Oh, I can do that better." Cool.
That's not completely new to you guys, right? Like when what did I like the tits? You know, we came in like there's different.
Yeah.
So I could have said something different. I could have said it differently.
I kind of could have. We hopped on your tits.
Yeah.
You got a hold of my tits.
I came in when you put your tits out there, Ken.
Yes.
So and that's how I joined the community. I saw that and I was like, Ryan,
I think our first
load of those.
Look at those tits. No, I think
please define that, Ryan. For any
I think our first official. I bought campaign material, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Fucks was our first. We both minted Fucks.
Yes,
we cared.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Did you give any fucks or did you just make them?
I never give any fucks. You never do. This is non-fungible guys, my friend.
Yeah, no fucks given.
Yeah. Okay, just for those that are listening, I know that there's some listeners that are like, "What was this?" And we don't have to explain everything, but we should at least reference the tits. The tits is the inflation times. And that was part of the old money collection, which is what Ken is part of when he was on the podcast before. Go
listen to that episode.
It's a great episode.
What number, Devon?
69.
No.
I want to believe you so bad.
I'll know in a second. Give me a minute here.
Who's gonna find it first? I'm
52.
racing down.
Sorry, I'm already in it. And I've got the 52.
Which one is this?
Was it 50? Yeah, you were episode 52.
I think this episode is 79.
Yeah, you were episode 52 in the I want to say like August or something.
Yeah,
because then we saw you in Vegas not too long after that, and here you are back already. For episode.
And I'll say this: at CNFTCon, you were definitely a man of the people because we'd go by your booth and it's like gone somewhere. Be back soon. But
we held down your booth for a bit.
Yeah, I think we were in there.
You were like, "Hey guys, watch the booth." I was like, "Okay."
Hold on, I'm gonna go get some more
Got it.
book.io mints. Takes off.
Yeah.
Start flash
Tell me that
throwing
was
his
a bad
envelopes
idea.
up in the air.
Tell me that was a bad idea. Right now, those are still 1,000 floor for those meditations.
I don't want to talk
told-
about that.
I hate you.
I don't want to talk about
get
that.
in.
Listen,
Okay.
okay, you know what? He wouldn't know. Okay, so we were like, yeah, we should do this. And when we saw you book it to go book it to run to go get the book.io, we were like, yeah, you know what? And then we paused and we ate lunch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we ate some chicken strips. We talked about this on the past episode, and we were like, let's go get the book.ios. We were so excited. And we went and they're like, hey, they're all gone, man.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
so
Ken bought the
butthurt.
last 5.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You
We were
snooze,
so
you lose,
butthurt.
suckers.
Like we literally talked about that last episode, and book.io actually like, tweeted to us about this. Like, hey, like, sorry guys.
No, really?
Yeah, and they're like, can't believe you guys
have,
like the chicken strips.
I am a regular. I have, shout out to book.io this last week.
Oh, yeah.
They had a triple chain sellout.
Amazing. I was
Yeah.
gonna bring. We talked about that right on our episode last week.
Yeah, we talked about the whole process, and that's
Yeah.
we both
It's.
bought polygons. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
you bought other ones. I bought Polygon.
I bought Polygon just because I was looking at the cost of everything. I was like, man, for whatever it was, 26 US or something for at the time. I was like, why not? I think I'm gonna end up doing a giveaway because I minted 3, so I think I'm gonna do a Polygon giveaway. I already forget what the hell the book was. Oh, the Art of War.
Yeah.
I proposed to Ben that it was funny, like a week and a half before they announced it, I sent a DM to Ben and said, I really think you guys should use instead of having, I appreciate the AI art and what they're doing, but I said, I think I could read this DM right now, but it was like, I really proposed to him, do a book like Art of War, because you have to play on words with art, and the war is between cryptocurrency and fiat currency. So that's a really good play. And make a contest for all of the artists in Cardano to submit a feature, or just submit your art based on one of the chapters. And if you get chosen for that chapter, like that way you have the theme, like Art of War, aligning your troops. That is, so if I do a piece of art based on aligning your troops and I submit it to them, then I'm submitting for that chapter in their book. And they can choose all of them and say, okay, we have 1,000, we have 600 submissions. These are going to be the one of ones. These are going to be the more rare. Like they can organize it however they want.
That's true.
And every artist in the, I'm saying this out loud on recording, I don't believe it. And then a week later, the announcement came out that they're doing Art of War. I'm like, oh my God, Ben, that's funny. Cause like, he didn't say shit about he didn't respond. I'm like, I got cameras in your place.
That's awesome.
To be honest, I put it out there to them. Were they the first project to ever do a triple sellout on 3 chains?
So my understanding, that's the first triple. Because my involvement with Ethereum, I came in as an ADA person, became an ADA maxi, and one of the things that it's an element of our project in caricatures and in our project in the fact I'm going to NFT MIC. I need to network with other people and understand what that feeling is to have real money, I guess. I don't know. But no, people know Ethereum, people know Polygon, they know other chains. I have a MetaMask because I was buying Angel Baby Hit Squads. When I was buying those, I had to talk to FET and then go in their Discord and get the escrow and get somebody to transfer it. And that was my experience with having a MetaMask wallet. I am not on my Chrome. I'm not on that MetaMask. I'm not into OpenSea. I go to OpenSea just to see my assets. I've never listed one. I was so limited, but I was like, when Book did Alice in Wonderland as a double chain, I was like, I got to do this. So I actually bought Ethereum for the first time, moved it into the MetaMask, linked the MetaMask on the other, and I got set up. So I finally bought an NFT through, and those are still for sale. The Alice in Wonderlands are. It's like 0.1 ETH. There's 600.
I think they said there was
and
there's
they're 400 to go.
And then they're airdropping Peter Pan.
That's what
they said. And they you be quiet. You watch your damn mouth, sir. I could use an extra copy of Peter Pan.
Yeah, because you have a 4, because the remaining 400 will go to the 600. So that means you have a 60% chance of getting 2 books.
Yes, they're gonna still be airdropping 1,000 Peter Pans.
That's
no
cool.
matter, no matter how many ETH books are still to be sold.
Yeah.
But
And I missed the Art of War because I didn't have enough Ethereum left over to get the Art of War. And I got to the computer, I was 8 minutes behind. I'm like, well, shit, there's still 400 of Alice in Wonderland. I can finish eating dinner tonight and I'll come back to the computer. And I hit the buy, and you can buy with the credit card.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a huge feature. That's like
beautiful.
And so I went and I did that. I went to try and get there and it didn't work. I'm like, God damn it. And I didn't realize that they only sold 100 on ETH, all as one of ones. Like, son of a gun.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then the people that are listing them on a secondary, there's no dump on secondary. Everyone is higher. So I'm like, I don't have enough ETH for that.
Yeah.
And then I went, you know what? I can go to Polygon. So I spent like an hour. I was supposed to go to bed. It was 11:30 at night. I was on book, and they're like, "Yeah, Poly hasn't sold out yet." I'm like, "Well, I only have leftover Ethereum and MetaMask, and I don't have time to learn Polygon." They're like, "Well, just do a bridge and just do the like." It'll like I don't. All right, fine. So I went into like full research mode, full everything, and an hour and a half later, I had moved the remaining ETH into a bridged Poly, and I had to download the Poly MetaMask. Like I had to do all these things.
You had to like import the main net to
and it paid off. I ended up making. I think I did like I think I got 3 of the Art of Wars on Polygon. The first one that I minted was a 101.
Oh,
beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So that was like a huge score, like a big win on that one.
Pay off on the work.
And it's going to sit. I have no idea what the future is. I'm not planning on going, but I've experienced Polygon, I've experienced Ethereum, and I have heavy experience in Cardano. And when I go to NFT MIC, I won't be the Cardano maxi that has no clue what the real world's like. I know what their problems are, and I'm staying away from it.
Yeah. You know what's funny is we fell even more in love with Cardano when we did Devon did the deep dive on how did we call it? Jed? The stable coin.
Yeah.
And he's like, this blockchain is like doing everything right, and it's not right now. They're doing everything right for 5-10 years down the road.
Kudos to Charles and the patience. And you know, he gets a lot of shit, obviously, and people make fun of the chain, which I think it's a stupid thing to, as an individual, make fun of a blockchain as if it's it's just.
I don't know. Have you ever gone to Wax blockchain?
Sorry, Wax.
Have you ever used Wax blockchain?
I haven't used it, but I know about it. We talked about Wax earlier in the day.
Yeah,
but it's just like a strange. But like realistically, there's so much happening. I don't know how you can't be bullish on it. And if you look at Cody and what they've done and where they started, they scoured the blockchains and they looked at what they wanted to do to make themselves the currency of the internet, and they chose Cardano for a reason.
Yep.
So if you see that, and you see that company with Cody, do not get confused. They're a for-profit entity that wants to make money and revolutionize banking. If they chose this, I think adjacent currencies, being Cody, being Jen, being Jed, being Shen, and Ada, I don't see how if we're playing the long game that we all say we're playing, we can still say we're early. Like, I know it's tough because we're missing like little, I don't know, little jumps in cryptocurrency, but like if we're playing this game the way that we tell each other that we are, then we really, really should be excited for 5 years from now and beyond, because we're not even, the rest of the world still doesn't understand what the heck we're talking about at all. Like, really, so you do the Bitcoins, eh? You know what? Well, yeah, that's it. Have a nice day. I want to listen to your podcast, and I was like,
no, you don't.
No, you don't.
But where do I start? I'm like, I just don't. No.
I was like, damn it, how do I say this? It's not for you. Which is terrible. I mean, it is. It's for everybody. Good thing Ryan and I love going down tangents and talking about our meals. That has roped in some people. So
that's true.
Come for the crypto, stay for the chemistry.
I do have one random question, since you are so knowledgeable, Mr.
Please.
Q.
Oh, me? He said
no, not Devon. Not Devon.
Oh, no, not me, Ryan?
No. I said Q.
Okay,
Mr.
sure.
Q. I said Mr. Q.
Oh, yeah, we have a guest. Oh, my God, sorry.
Yeah. What up? What's your thoughts with I guess CIP 76. Do you know anything about it?
It is it's a series of letters and numbers that means a lot more to other people than me.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know
what I
what.
figured. This is more for Hudro,
Well,
right?
yeah, he's definitely involved in that. And I've seen it, like, I got to say that I have to be the guy that says I've been so involved in my project that, but this last month has been like nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
But at the same time, I still have my involvement in different things. If something, I always fail to remember who to quote this by, but if news is important, somebody will tell you.
Mm,
That's they will reach out to tell you what news is important. You don't have to seek the news.
right.
So
Cool.
when it comes to like mass media, if you're sitting in front of the news station, they're going to talk and talk and talk and tell you things that you don't even need to know. If you live in an area where there's a plume of gas coming your way, you're going to know that
Yeah.
that's important to move.
Yeah.
The alarms are going to go off. Your family's going to call you. The news you need to know, you don't need to seek out. It'll get to you.
That is
Mm.
true.
Ryan,
So
what
I'm
is
not saying that SIP 68 is something that I don't need to know about, because I think we all need to know and understand what moves forward. But where I stay focused right now is the NFT space and what's happening with things like that's where I can still play in degen mode for an hour and a half with 35ers and just lose track of time,
There you
because
go.
I'm still involved. That's part of the study and understanding. I can't just come in and say, okay, so if I take an ape with 65 traits, I can sell it to a bunch of people that'll buy anything and then walk away. That's not my business model. I'm not building this for now. I put a year's worth of work in to get to this day coming up where we can start a minting cycle process and go from there.
Right.
I'm not the guy that says, give me $850,000 and we'll see what we come up with in the end.
I love this
Have,
guy.
have you been to Pavia's metaverse lately? Like, somebody made it doesn't exist yet as far as I know. And it may come, it may be there.
Ryan hung out there.
I did run around in it when they had their what did they have? It was
demo,
like
right?
The demo.
public. And the way I look at it was like you had a whole pizza and there was one slice that you could run around in. That's all but you could see what the idea was. But yeah, it was just like a little triangle of a city that you could run around in.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really well done. But
yeah, that's good. I'm not a metaverse person, and our project will never have a metaverse, period. As long as I'm part of it. If our community overrides my decision and we want a metaverse where all of our pixels, all of our people can do their thing, that'd be cool. I know that our artist is doing 3D work on this, he's actually building interactable caricaturized 3D models, which is freaking awesome. It doesn't apply to where we're at right now, but it could be part of his future, just because the technology is there. But I threw the Pavia, not to throw shade at Pavia, but to understand that most of the people in our space for the first 2 years of Cardano NFTs has been mint and C. And
yes,
maybe it'll go there. I'm going to make some giant promises. Some are going to get delivered, some are not. The community might land on you. They might stick and it stays and you go, okay, cool. I haven't talked to Chilled Kong's Maxi at all. Like, I feel like they're all in their silo. It's a good project. They do their thing, but they're in their silo. Old money, same thing. We have our people. We're inviting anybody can come in and play and hang out and we'll learn and grow and do. But everyone has their space where they're comfortable. And granted, we're in a build market, like bear market, build market, whatever you want to call it. I call it a build market. Everyone has gone to their safe place and they've invested what they have, whether it's time, energy, effort, money, into that project, which is why I think Ape Society is doing fantastic, because a lot of people landed there as everything was crushing. And all those smart ass people are doing, like Thorpe Brown wrote a book on book.io and he's just released it physically. Like, those are the people that are doing amazing things. There's a lot of people in old money that are putting out products and that are doing some really wicked ass cool things. That doesn't really move mountains though. Like, you have your home base. When we go to our next bowl, when we have the next project, when something else comes up, people will explore that. TCC was supposed to be a pot of gold. Nope. You know, I had my reason to buy into that, but that didn't pan out as well as I'd hoped. Alley Cats, that's one that's doing its thing, but Malador didn't even show up to CNFTCon.
I know.
And they're rocking. You know, they're doing an amazing job.
So, okay.
Yeah.
You were correct in the fact that it was 68. I said 76. I don't know why. But Devon, do you know what it was?
I don't.
So I again didn't do any research. I was hoping Ken knew everything about it, so that's okay. No, but it's basically it allows you to change the traits after a policy is locked, as far as very basic understanding. Okay. I think it's after it's locked. Again, I'm not 100% on it because people have been asking me about it. Back. Yeah, it reminded me a little bit about like Remark, but not like the whole NFTs owning NFTs, but the changing of the traits that would change the PFP apparently. So you can have it set up as one, but using SIP 68, you could change the traits and change the PFP later on. Is from what I'm going to look into it more. So maybe next episode we'll bring it back up again.
Okay. But, I see what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry, derailed that convo.
No. It's completely fine. Yeah, and I'm glad you actually did bring it up because we have talked about it very briefly, like a small snippet in the past. Yeah.
So is that a question?
No, I didn't ask you a question. I was telling Ryan. I was like, Ryan.
I'm skimming SIP 68 right now as well, and I don't like at the abstract level. I'm not a huge fan because this should be this might be the anything immutable asset.
Yeah, locked in and but who knows? Maybe it's trying to bring Cardano assets on the blockchain to interoperability with the future or something. I'm not really sure. I can't speak on it. I really can't. For something as technical as that, I would deep dive it and have a great time there. But it's something.
Yeah. So did we keep an eye out that's going around the chatter in the Cardano space anyway?
Right.
For anyone that wants to
talk about the project? We did, right?
The caricatures?
Caricatures?
Yeah.
I
think we nailed everything.
Well,
what do you say, Ken? Did we?
Submission, voting.
If we walk away from, if anybody listened to an hour and 50 minutes of chatter and conversation, and you wanted to summarize it very quickly and briefly, we are celebrating people who have made serious impressions on us throughout our entire journey, whether it's through blockchain or cryptocurrency or into the future, wherever this project goes. We want all the community members to have equal opportunity to invest in their standings in this project, to let wherever they're at have their voice heard, to establish whether or not you can use NFTs in Web3/Web 2. We have websites and we have blockchains. How do you get those two to talk to each other? We're building that technology. Justin is proving his case that the technology that he has can be white labeled and put somewhere else without, whether it's open source debate or not.
Yeah.
The work has been put in. Here's how it can be done. If he decides to open source it, if he decides to open source half of it, whatever, it's his choice. He's the one that built and does that thing. But he'll be able to demonstrate through, look what I did with old money when I was working with all the community members and making this happen and growing. Then we were able to make caricatures happen, bring that back into its full glory, because this was a vision from a year and a half ago coming to fruition right now. We're going to build a community in my vision to the future where every cycle, we didn't even talk about really the monetary side of this. A portion of all of the proceeds are going to go to a community ADA wallet and a community USD wallet. Now that's by title. So when I tell you that 6 months from now, when we're on our fifth or sixth cycle, I need to hire somebody to take work off of my shoulders so that I can do more of whatever it is. So if I get 6 months down the line with a project that has 6 successful cycles, and I tell you, I need you to be my liaison, and you're going to say, okay, cool. Once we mint, I'll pay you. Doesn't sound as good as
Yeah.
we're gonna pay you from this fund. So you have guaranteed, if you put in the time right now, we have a community fund because you're a community employee now, essentially. You know, what the terminology is going to be key. I'm just saying,
I like that,
saying
though.
words that are referenceable so that it can be understood.
Yes, well said. Yes,
But
yeah.
you may be a
Your lawyer listening to the podcast is like, nice, good save.
So you could be an independent contractor who is subbed out from my LLC, and my LLC pays you because we have the keys to that public wallet. We have the keys to the public ADA wallet. We've learned a lesson. How many people over the last 6 months put a shitload of ADA into a wallet saying, this is a community fund? Oh, crap. That was our community fund. Now we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So, I'm in the United States, I'm in Ohio. I have to ensure, and for easy market or easy finances, on the day of the mint or anytime we earn income through ADA, I have to track the ADA value on average of that day. So even if there's a spike in that day, the average price for that day is how much we make. I have to account for that in that way. And that day, I'm offboarding it, because if it spikes the next day, now I have to account for all those funds, that capital gain, that short-term capital gain.
Yeah.
Just for instance, if we go from 30 cents today and I make $5,000 and I wait the next day and now it's worth $5,060. Next year, I have to remember that I made $60 on something that it's
just mint Shen as the reserve currency to balance it out.
But there is a
sorry. I thought you know one. Just joking.
The key point is that we're going to take a portion of the first cycle. The money that's coming out of this first mint is paying the bills, because I mentioned I resigned. I've been dipping out of my reserves to make this happen, and I see a flash.
That was hilarious.
It's the oldest.
Is that a Ricci jersey?
That is, yes, it is.
Nice.
All right.
Well, you know, this is always,
I've got my Gretzky. Actually, here, check this out.
Oh, here, awesome. Emma.
No, this podcast is great.
There you go. She has no idea. She's like, "Who is that?" Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay, cool.
That's actually.
Yeah, I got.
Hey, Ryan, check that out. Right.
Nice.
I'm okay with that. That's cool.
It's even got the fight strap in the back, I think.
Legit.
I don't know what that is.
No knockoff there.
You can't like, it straps to the back so that if somebody doesn't pull it
so they
over
can't get. Holy crap! What's
cool. That called, Devon?
Jersey.
Look at you.
They can't jersey. Yes. Oh my god, that moment was huge. Woo, I am sweating, bro.
So dumb.
So we were just showing off our LA Kings Gretzky jersey. I wore that. Well, no, I wore my Datsuk jersey to a Colorado game in Colorado when Wall was still there. And we actually had glass seats for that. So
beauty.
I got a little extra attention that day.
Yeah, I'd say.
So, and USD account.
So a community. We have a community growth fund that is split in ADA and in USD.
Yeah.
So there will be ADA there, so that if we find somebody that wants to do something for the community and they live in a company or a country that they can be like, I don't want dollars, I want ADA.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's your ADA. There's assets that we may want to purchase as a community. There's decisions that we want to make. So we'll have our native currency and we'll have our fiat devaluing currency, whatever. But that way, 6 months from now, if we're putting that money in, we can prove to somebody in a track record, I want to hire you. We've been saving money for this moment. We're not going to be paying out of pocket. We're not going to guarantee that you get paid if we do well in this mint. you will get paid at this time for this service. And that next mint, whatever we pay out gets paid back. So we're actually seeding our funds in that way. So it's, so many people, it really bothers me when people don't treat an NFT project like a business.
Oh,
You know, it's funny. That was the whole thing that Fettuccine was talking about when we had him on.
Yeah.
Was that and he was driving him crazy that people just say, "Oh, I'm going to make pictures of apes," and that's it. Like no one thinks of it as a business, because it is.
but and you've said that many times. You said it's a business. Like, you know, there's no difference. You got to recognize that. And I think, I know the space, and it was the wild, wild west, and it still is in some regards, but like, that's not going to fly as much as it used to. It's just the longevity.
No, I had meetings with lawyers for setting up the LLC. I have meetings with lawyers that know. There's in Toledo, Ohio area. There's a lawyer who is a NFT geek, and he loves it. He understands blockchain technology and everything. He's now working for he was actually a professional hockey player.
Oh.
I'll have to, So he,
DM me that name. Let's look up.
Yep. So but it's incredibly hard to find anybody that knows anything that's a professional that's willing. Like my CPA, when I talked to them, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be doing crypto next year." He said, "Hey, get a new CPA."
That's great. See ya.
Yeah, he said, I'm retiring. I'm not taking time to learn crypto.
Yeah, screw that. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, all right. Well, and it was good. And then I found another guy, and he is willing to understand and learn and grow with it. But he also understands that that's a whole market of people who need legal protection. So it's building that team, whether they're not going to be an employee on our website, but having somebody in your business team that you go to that already understand. I have a meeting with him tomorrow with the NFT lawyer. Say, listen, this is what we're doing. I want you to check, because there's some things that we need to make sure we're using the right terminology, especially in this project, using likeness. You know, there's artistic license, and then there's probably, you know, so we have to make sure that we're not crossing any crazy lines or doing anything that's going, no, you do that is. Yeah, I won't represent you if you do that. I'm like, oh, that we might need to take a drug. Okay. Well, we've had those conversations already. We're looking good. We're just going to have a follow-up appointment and say, okay, how are we looking now?
I like
Who's doing it? Who else is doing that?
And you, nice. I love that at the end. Who's been doing that? Huh? All right. Sorry, I'm picking.
Listen, you want to do an NFT project? It's a business, folks.
You got to do it the right way.
That's the main thing we've been talking the last couple episodes is. It's no joke. You gotta. This is a legit thing you want to do. Unless you're a rug puller, then you can go fucking jump off a cliff.
2023. We're not playing that old style anymore. We're not playing that shit.
Okay, I heard old money rug.
Yeah, that's true. Those fuckers.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we did it again.
I think we almost broke a record for
Ken came on. And we went everywhere, you know, and I love it. I think that's why I was nervous at the beginning. It was nervous excitement for the insights, for the inner workings, and the like. Even as we were just finished off about like due diligence, you know, and like you don't be. Yeah, I mean, we hinted at Fettuccine. The only other project that's really like kind of lift a little bit of the veil on that, but you've done it to a different degree, and we appreciate that. And I think, I don't even know, man. Caricatures, I like it. We support it. I endorse it. Ryan, don't care about you. Sorry. I'm in.
I'll believe that when I see your name change blue in the Discord.
All right, there you go. Ryan, don't egg him on. It's fine.
You guys are connected. It might already be. Actually,
no. Ryan,
you got to connect the Discord. Yeah,
Ryan probably is.
I'm connected, but I don't think I don't have any assets of the project yet.
No, but we're gonna do. We have till the 23rd. Is that 23rd of February?
What are you looking up, but God?
I'm looking up. My calendar's up there, right? I'm in an office.
Please, Lord, help me.
What's the EMD?
So early mint discount, and
what's that? 24th.
24th. Yeah. By what is it? I think we set it at like 6 p.m. That's a Friday evening.
Yeah. Next Friday or next.
If all goes well, we don't have a mint date published. We haven't said this is when we're doing it. We're doing claims, but because of data entry for 450 people and making that growth. And somebody asks, hey, when? Well, it's going to be a period of time. It's going to be sooner than people expect and later than people expect. I don't know. But
I like it.
We're in the middle of this hype cycle. We have 2 weeks of public facing conversations. Well, this is a podcast, so you get to hear my voice, but we'll be on multiple streams. We have some stuff lined up for the weeks that follow, but we don't have anything booked yet. We want to see how things play out, make sure that all the tech streamlines and goes, and our confidence is high. We have all the things moving in the right direction. But again, as a business, when you look at it in that sense, I'm asking people to invest in our vision.
There's your CTA, everybody.
Yeah, and that means maybe you want to do something on the secondary and you want to try and just flip and go have fun with that. But we're looking for the community members who are going to at least be here for a month to vote for the next cycle, to be a part of that. Like, I want everybody that's going to buy in this cycle, this pre-cycle, to use those assets as a tool to click the button, to go to the link and say, okay, I want, put it in your mind right now, whoever it could be. We don't have a set, this is our next phase, our next theme, because something else might happen. You'd asked about, well, is it 6 months? Is it 2 months? Our goal is 1 month, because this space moves fast. We want to feature things that are happening currently. So when a major event, when a major person, when a major theme happens, and we say, hey, let's think about the present. That's this. People are emotionally tied to that, and they can connect with that. You were in New York City. You didn't tell me where you were at, Devon, but where you had your rollerblades. Like, you'll remember, like, maybe when was the last time you thought about rollerblading? And now it's tied to that caricature art, and you go, oh man, that's right. That was back when I was doing that. So if we do caricature art that features something 6 months ago, maybe that doesn't touch the heartstring. Maybe you're not motivated to revel in that moment anymore. But if we can say October is NFT or is CNFT con, right?
Con, yeah.
Maybe it's the beginning of September into October. So maybe the theme after that is best project of CNFTCon. And everyone that was at CNFTCon or interacted with them virtually may say, oh, we really love this project, that project, this founder, that person, whoever it was, like whoever those submissions are. But that's in the moment. And now you have an NFT of that moment. And that ties you to that. And where you got in is relevant to your present day. And those mega collectors are going to say, well, I want the thing from the beginning. I remember I missed that one. I didn't see when Jane Doe was featured. I want this because that influenced my life. We're talking about building 5 influential moments every month that anybody in our space can recollect and go, oh, I know who that is. Shit, the maroon shirt, Charles. People look at that. Do you guys recognize that as an inspirational moment?
What happened there? What was he doing? What interview was that?
That if you're looking at that, it shouldn't take you 4 hours and 57 minutes to figure out. There's your hint.
I'm embarrassed. Don't do this to us, Q. What did he do for that time period?
Lex Friedman interview.
Oh, you referenced it earlier.
5 hours long.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, but that's where you go. If you recognize, if you put those two together, that's a highlight to me. As that was, if I was going to submit, I would say, yeah, he spent 5 hours explaining really weird shit and really cool shit, and talked to somebody that had nothing to do with anything. But that's a highlight to the NFT community and to the Cardano community. And if you look at that now, and if you were to pull up Lex Friedman, you go watch that video, you go, oh shit, yeah, that's him. Yeah. The one that we just released, the CNFTCon one. How many people got selfies or have pictures of him wearing that shirt, wearing that Macy Ferguson hat? We didn't duplicate that brand. We made our own little logo on the hat, but that one is CNFTCon. And we had 2 more to go. Or 3 more to go. So when those get released, you got, maybe you want to speculate and say, oh, this was really influential. That was really influential. Nobody knows right now what it's going to be, because we're It's part of the psychology and the study and the understanding is to leave something to be found. So we're leaving those to be found.
Nice.
But on that first cycle, when Jane Doe is picked and everybody has submitted, and we all know that those highlights that everybody appeals to are the top 5 highlights from Jane Doe's interaction with Cardano ecosystem. Pretty good idea. Our caricature artist is going to be using those, but we'll build the rarity behind it and say, okay, we want this one. We want these 5 images to be caricaturized. The artist can use those public facing videos. Maybe they don't have much, and we put the artist in direct contact with the winning caricature, and they do a video call and they do a live video caricature. So like there's a lot of ways that people work differently, and it just grows. Your brain's working right now, isn't it?
Because I'm like, there's avenues here, and I was like, what's the art gonna like? And we didn't even. It's like the art could really be so much influenced by the educator, by the person, by the and it's like it's and if you're choosing artists, then this is going to be quite the dynamic collection.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Instead of like if you were to look at the OG set, it's the same Charles face with 14 different traits besides the one you have. There's 15 different. It has a King of Rats trophy. It has color gradients. It has a little icon. Like those are so like that. Oh yeah, this image. There's just so little things, so few things that are variable, but it's the same image of him in the office. This next collection is going to be 5 totally different caricatures.
Gotcha.
And it's just a 5. So if you want the whole set, you only have to buy 5. You don't have to buy 15.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
It makes it attainable to have a full set and to go after it. And we don't have the multi-pass, like the mega. This is the one thing that if you have the true serum of life
kind of deal. Yeah. Well,
bedtime.
Ryan.
It was this is a fucking great episode. Long one. I think this might. What was our longest one prior to this?
Old Money. It was Surge. It was Surge. But then Old Money was second.
I think we just eclipsed our longest episode. That's my guess, anyways.
And it's funny because the project hasn't minted yet.
The OGs.
So the OG.
Yeah.
We're not. Yeah. We'll keep that term.
The rebrand. Yeah.
Yeah. The EMD. Q.
I get to ask you about your ugly, bro. I'm staring at your ugly.
Oh, mine.
Yeah.
That was a gift actually. I like. And I chose the Mooners collection. I don't know. I think his name's Buzz or Bud or something. Okay. But he's my fave. I like that guy. Yeah. I love that the detail in him and the little lights and all that. It's a big fan. Yeah. I'm like smiling at it, which is ridiculous. You'd think I knew the guy. Okay, I'm like deep reverence. I'm like, yeah, it was a great summer. Okay. Well, I feel like sometime in this podcast, I literally decided, and I'm letting you know now that I'm going to hop on my motorcycle and I'll ride down and visit you this summer if I'm doing a long haul. So
if Justin lets you cross the border, then come on over. I'll take a boat across. I'll meet you in Kingston, but
that's a much shorter ride. Well, thank you for being on Non-Fungible Guys, our first repeat offender. We're excited. Ryan, what do you got?
I can't wait for the EMD drop, and thank you for coming on once again. Absolutely. Like it's been fun. It's been eye-opening, and it's been a long
I hope
one.
you guys get the chance to hang out in the Discord a little bit and watch as we grow. I'm trying to keep it clean, trying to keep it organized. Not old money clean, but like organized clean. So
yes.
Okay.
It's effective, and we can get to convey the right message.
Well, I want to see how the community. I want to be part of these cycles. This is something pretty cool. All right. If you're hanging out, listening, and you're excited about it, we're gonna be doing some giveaways for the EMD, which we talked about. But until then, I don't know. Just keep listening. Look out for Q. Q, what are your handles?
Ken Q, I think, is my Twitter.
That's awesome. Just go
You can.
twitter.com/caricatures_art. Go there.
Yeah, that's the project one. That's the one.
And caricatures.art and discord.gg/caricatures. You know how it goes. All right,
Well,
everybody.
you mentioned Alex. Here's one last thing is like I took the one note of your comments was I can be me as caricatures. I don't have to be the business.
Yeah,
because I'm learning how to use different.
Yeah, and you are an entity unto yourself as well as those things as well.
What's really fun is that like I'm using the caricatures _art Twitter handle to call to other communities because I realize I am both. So if I'm like, hey, here's my mech, that's me. And here's a picture, like when we get done talking and I go tweet, like I just had a blast with these guys. Guess what picture I'm sharing? The picture of you and I and the three of us sitting at NCFT Con.
Yeah.
Because we have that image.
Yeah.
And that's not that wasn't this Twitter handle. Oh, that's me. That's still me. Still I know you guys were here.
Yeah. So, still got the long hair. Don't care.
Longer. Still there.
It's Ryan shaking his head.
Fucking hair.
Ryan, this guy's.
Did you say long hair, no glare?
Long hair, don't care.
Oh, as I said, no glare.
Yeah. That too. That's another dig at Ryan. I'm sorry, Ryan. I don't know why I'm attacking you tonight over and over again. He's gonna rip his headphones and throw them down at protest.
It's all right. I'm okay. I'm a grown man. I can handle it.
It's true. Yeah, and usually it's chirping the other way around. I love it. All right. NFGs. We out.
We out.
We didn't even. Not only we do a proper intro. We don't do anything online. Thanks, Ken. It's been awesome.
This has been amazing. Thank you very much. It's been good this week to be able to speak out loud about the project. And I got to get more concise because not everyone's going to listen to 2 hours.
But I like that because I'm not known for my brevity.